Waving to go.
Full send. Just in case we fall off, I'm going to put my lid on.
Yeah, I think you should. Fucking old people, I tell you.
Welcome along everyone. It's 2023 and with a new year brings a new karting season. If you tuned in last year, you'll know we did the Ultimate Karting Championship, or at least attempted to do the Ultimate Karting Championship. Our first go at a big national level series, and I really enjoyed it. It was a great experience for about 2 months when we were actually quick and we were doing the testing, but then being an expensive sport, we ran out of money, ran out of budget, couldn't do that much testing, travelled across half the country to basically just get driven over. So yeah, this year we're looking at just staying local, doing a bit of the Medway Valley Kart Club, which is at Buckmore Park, probably my favourite circuit up there with Wilton Mill. So we're going to be doing some more club races there, picking and choosing a few events, seeing how we go. But we were quite competitive here last year.
It's like when Paul went into the toilet with that massive lens, do you remember?
Huh? Oh, Paul?
Yeah. So here it is. This is a 2021 Cosmic or OTK TonyKart. Same thing, just in dark blue. And yeah, so I picked this one up. I know, slightly dodgy Facebook Marketplace deal, but yeah, it's a late 2021 frame. Yeah, very lightly used frame for probably about half the price, just under half the price of a brand new kart. I'm still yet to own a brand new kart. This is probably the closest thing I've had. So over the winter I've been spending a bit of time doing it up, had to swap quite a few of the parts, but yeah, still worked out quite a bit cheaper than it would have been otherwise. Main reason I'm moving from the GMS, so you're probably thinking, why have you got rid of the GMS? It's a lovely car. And you know what, I love my GMS. It's currently still sat on the floor of my parents' garage, and it was still running quick the last couple of races I ran with it. But yeah, it's the main reason being the GMS kart team no longer manufacture these chassis. They were produced in the Gillard factory, but those that are in the know will know that shut down. So yeah, it's a great kart, but obviously parts you can still get them, but yeah, these chassis aren't really worth much anymore. So I thought, wanting to be a bit more independent, I got onto the OTK. Everyone knows what's what there. Easy to get parts. But yeah, the footage you're seeing right now is actually some testing we did at the very start of the new year at Buckmore Park, and it's chucking it down. It's a lovely, well, it's an absolutely miserable day for some, but it's a simply lovely day to go karting for us. So we had a quite good day actually, very good pace on old and new tyres. So very happy with that. And also, Alex Spinks, a good friend of mine, was very kind enough to give me a go in his 1999 F100 kart. I believe he's got a Rotax. But this kart, actually the same age as myself, quite a cool blast from the past. Really appreciate the opportunity. I've always wanted to drive an F100 kart, so very thankful to Alex for that. And yeah, Super GT was also having a hack in the same kart with me on this day, so that was pretty cool as well. So I'll leave you with some natural onboard audio, because this thing's singing up to in excess of 20,000 RPM is, well, quite frankly, simply lovely. So I'll let you enjoy that. Enjoy.
Just a little bit far, don't choke it. Ready? Lean forward a bit. Ready? Yeah.
So you join us. First race of the year, first race in 8 months. It is Buckmore Park in April. So yeah, we rock up we did a test day on the Tuesday, and we were absolutely flying despite our tyres being worn down to the canvas. Same thing applied on the Saturday test day, so we're absolutely flying. We're matching some people who are on new rubber, and you can't even see the dimples in our tyres, so yeah, clearly haven't lost any speed over the winter, which is really good to see, given we've done virtually no testing at all. I think we did a day very start of the new year, probably like a half day if you can really call it that, at Bayford, which to be honest was a bit of a waste of time. And yeah, then into this Tuesday test day in April, so quite a jump, but yeah, hang on to it nicely. This is it then, the first race of 2023 and the first race on the Cosmic, starting P16. Need to stick on this guy's bumper. We're actually a little bit sluggish, hanging back ever so slightly, but it doesn't really matter because we're going to make any move happen to turn 1. Round the outside we go, coming into hairpin 1, look to the inside and quickly switch to the outside, getting all crossed up. But this is just working out beautifully in our favour as we thread the needle through this pack of karts. And I think we've made up about 3 or 4 places anyway. Harry Cannon's going to get a better exit out the hairpin, but we just tuck in behind him. Down the hill, running a little bit wide, covering off that inside as Poppy Stevenson, our teammate, now cuts the track at paddock, but we're going to lunge her into Garda and try and hang it all the way around the outside. Very fair play to her, she left us plenty of room there. Right, starting into lap 2, so a really positive start to this race. We've got Sonny Scott just in front of us. You can't really see it that well on the camera, but his radiator little overflow catch can is just pissing out water everywhere, and I really do not want to be behind a kart spitting out antifreeze or coolant or whatever, because if you've seen karts racing and there's antifreeze on the track, it's like just driving into ice, and I've seen a lot of very big crashes. Already losing a little bit of grip actually coming through Garda, and there's a big crash with Harry Cannon and Luke Winter there. That's actually going to make life a little bit easier for us, but we've now got to navigate this traffic jam down the inside of Luke Winter. Very nice indeed. I think Poppy actually followed us through there, and I know she's going to be hungry to get past, so let's lunge on Sonny Scott. Do not want to sit behind him for any longer, especially with all that water pissing out. And time to go now as we exit hairpin 2 through these lovely fast S's and into Syme Sweep down the hill. It is a fantastic track here at Buckmore Park, and yeah, trying to break away now. Poppy actually wants to make a move, and we get very close to making contact there. That could have been a lot worse. Yeah, she went for a big move, and she actually lost out quite a bit because of that. But hey ho, it's given us a bit of breathing space at least, so now we can just all eyes forward and looking at Jack Davis in the 94 in the distance, see if we can close in on him. We've had really good pace here on the test day, so I fully believe we can go forward here. Don't need to worry about anyone behind us, so yeah, head over to the metal through here. Right, skipping ahead then, as we're still hunting down Jack Davis in the 94 TonyKart in front of us. And we are edging ever so slightly closer as the laps tick over. We've got a big gap behind us now. Poppy and I think Sonny Scott have just been battling for quite a bit, so that's really that's taken the pressure off us completely now. You can see a couple of karts in front. I think that's Ollie Johnson just ahead. So we've really reeled in these karts in front. We were quite some way back, obviously, starting P16. We're now up to about P9, I believe, and we're among the top 6 in terms of lap time, so the pace is actually looking really, really good. I think we're about 38.6 at this point. Fastest lap is somewhere like around 38.3 or something in this heat in particular. So yeah, pace is pretty good. And it's so much easier on fresh tyres. The last corner yesterday when we were on on tyres worn down to the canvas yesterday, and now we can just carry so much speed through the fast stuff. Kart really working well and changes the direction, releases nicely off the hairpins. So yeah, new tyres making a big difference. This lap is
That's Finley Cross actually on the side of the track. So he actually hit the bollard coming down the sweep. He started on pole, I believe. And yeah, his race has gone from bad to worse now. But I think that's actually allowed us to close up a little bit more on Jack Davis. I think he probably got a little bit more compromised by that than us. And also closing in on Ollie Johnson as well. So it'll be interesting to see if we can get both of these guys here. Because the last lap was so particular that we've really closed in. And down the sweep we go, chucking it over this curve on the left. Through all these quick changes of direction, the kart's working really nicely for us now, and we're almost within striking distance. Give it a lap or two, I think, and we will be there. Last corner completely flat out, and yeah, carrying so much corner speed into turn one. Really good point for us this weekend, and in all the testing as well, being able to carry so much speed on entry without losing the back end too much. Through the S's again we go. Lost out a little bit on exit, still some yellow flags as the marshals adjust the barrier. We do put a little bit of a lift in, so nothing dodgy there. But yeah, we're noticeably closer on this lap. And I think we've still got a few minutes left on the clock. GMS motor absolutely ridiculous at the end of the straight, but we're going to go for it into hairpin one from a fair way back as well, and we get the move done. Try to cover him off into hairpin two so Jack cannot respond, and that's a very lovely move, and we can now set our sights on Ollie Johnson. Don't need to worry too much about Jack behind us because we clearly had the pace, so just focus on not making mistakes now, keeping it clean, and we shall see what we can do. But yeah, really good race. We're up to I think P7 on track now, and we started P16, so this has just been a fantastic start. Nice and clean, being patient. I think that's the big thing here on all these heats with the random grids. It's so easy to get involved in someone else's crash or be taken out or whatever, so just picking your moments. I knew I had the car underneath me, knew I had the pace as I had done through all of testing, so I just really wasn't too worried, and that makes a huge difference. You know, it's so easy to think, oh, this guy in front's a bit slow and want to go for a desperate lunge. Yeah, there's a time and a place to lunge, and just picking your moments pays off handsomely. But yeah, cutting now towards the last lap through these S's, and we have closed in on Ollie Johnson actually, and it's not going to be enough. It's far too late for that. As you see coming now towards Garda, yeah, we're a lot closer. Give it a couple more laps and maybe we'd have been able to have a go, but either way we will very happily take P7 across the line, which actually turned into P6 because Kit in front of us got a technical exclusion. It wasn't actually a performance enhancing part, but yeah, he got a technical exclusion to do, so that actually had him disqualified from the heat, and that put us up 10 places, so perfect start to heat 1. Right, here we go then, heat 2. This is our middle start, right in the thick of the pack. We're starting actually towards the front of the midfield. Actually, it's more like P6, so it actually isn't too bad. We're right on the bumper of Harry Chamberlain, and the start was an absolute joke. Everyone getting brake checked, nose cones aplenty, and the left hand side of the grid got an absolutely woeful start compared to the right hand side. Harry just completely bogged down, and that's put us rather on the back foot as Luke Winter. We're getting all squirrely on the brakes, and this is the frustrating thing when you get stuck behind someone a bit less confident, one of the slower guys. He hasn't done that much around Buckmore, and yeah. But I think the key to the midfield start is just surviving. I knew Kit and a couple of others were going to try and go for lunges around the outside, and sometimes that does really pay off, especially if you're starting further back, because you might remember at Rara, but we go for a massive send into Garda, get that done, and yeah, just stayed calm, knew I'd have other opportunities, and I think the most important thing in this start when you're in the midfield is just to survive, because yeah, you know you have the pace. I don't have the car underneath me. We saw in the first heat how I could go through the field, so don't get too flustered if you lose a spot or two at the start, because especially we're starting on the outside. I expected that, you know, we'd probably lose a spot or two. Now Rory Burke is on our back, right on our tail. He's been reasonably quick all weekend. As we come into paddock now, and he's just going to completely rear-end us. Yeah, I was maybe slightly to the right-hand side, like slightly defensive. But yeah, we just got completely wiped out there. And fair credit to him, he came up to us after the race and he admitted fault and he apologised, and I appreciate that. It obviously doesn't do much to help our race. It doesn't help our race at all, but it is what it is. At least he acknowledged it was his fault. Some other people in the paddock in his tent might have had another view on that. I'm not entirely sure what they saw, but either way, the stewards gave him I think it was a 5-second penalty for unfair advantage, which didn't really help us as we start this final lap, because we were so far back to that crash. It was a bit of a write-off. I think we made up a spot or two with retirement. But yeah, by the time I'm closing up to the main bulk of the pack, it is the last lap, because the heats are only about 7 minutes. So it's not really a lot of time if you get involved in incidents, hence why it's better to lose one spot, being a bit cautious perhaps, rather than to lose 7 crashing. But it is what it is. Mixed grids always sort of promote this chaotic racing, but hey ho, we at least finished, and that's more than quite a few people. So moving on to our third and final heat. This is one where we want to go all guns blazing. We're starting P3, and you know what, I feel like we have a chance of going for the win here. We've actually got Rory on pole straight after that whole stewards debate over whose fault over that incident in the second heat. So this is going to be an interesting one. Coming into hairpin one, getting all crossed up, coming in hot. Actually didn't need to defend that because I was so far ahead with that good start. But nevertheless, we've settled in. We are still P2 after the hairpins, and we've got Jack Davis behind us. And yeah, now we go full attack. Rory's managed to break free a little bit, but again, I know we have the pace. See if we can claw some of that back as we go into Garda for the first time. And it's going to be a big ask to get my first win in seniors in a heat, or in any capacity really. I've never won a heat, believe it or not, or obviously never won a final. So yeah, really want to go for this. Feel like I have the opportunity to, and the pace too. So let's see what we do. It's a good start to this second lap, quite a big first sector, and already clawed some of that advantage back now on Rory as we head down the sweep. But feeling pretty confident and pretty comfortable at this point, as he actually goes off at paddock, and I think that would have been a track limits warning. Now I think you're allowed to sort of make it once. We're all allowed a mistake, that's fair enough. But do that too many times and there's penalties start coming into play. As Jake Richards now from State, he's going to go up the inside of us into turn 1. And we're not going to, I think the key thing at this point is not to fight these things too much. Don't start going defensive, because you will go backwards very, very quickly indeed. Yeah, it's much better to just tuck in behind someone quick, try and learn a few things, see where they're strong, and then see if they can also drag you up to the leaders. So we've got to, keep our elbows out, hold our ground, but if someone's much quicker and we can learn from them, we've got to work together a little bit in karting sometimes, because if you defend a little bit, or you get overtaken in the wrong place at the wrong time, you can lose so much time. So it's all about just using your head, being smart, especially in these heats, because it's not the final. We all want to be in a good position for the final, so that there is no point just firing yourself out of the heats and starting the final at the back. It's still a long way to go in this heat as well. And we watch Rory in the distance, and he cuts the track. He cuts the track again. So that's going to be his second warning now. So getting towards penalty territory. So I got one eye on him. As you can see, his number actually comes up on the digiboard there as we start the next lap. Now, Jake gapped us on that last lap a bit, but I think he's now starting to get held up by Rory, who's sort of bunching the whole pack up now. Not by much, but I think it's fairly clear to see that Jake's stopped gapping us now. It's starting to even out ever so slightly as we look behind us, we've got Stefan from who's been running, front end a lot recently, and on the test day I was towing up to the back of him. I know he's quite quick, so the fact that we're keeping him at bay for now is a good sign. I think he did start quite far back, so he's having a similar heat to us in the first heat. We're having a very good heat so far. But I know his pace he'll probably be a smidge quicker, but not a lot, so he's a good reference at this point, as Jake is still struggling to get past Rory Burke. As we head towards Garda. Now at this point I'm just pushing as much as I can, keep getting gaps to the cars behind, and see if we can pick up pieces of any scraps that might happen in front of us. Jake is still waiting in the wing, Stefan's right behind us, and he has closed, but after that there's a little bit of a gap. As he goes for a move into hairpin 2, we have to steer out of it, give him room. So we're now down to P4. It's not the end of the world though, because if any of you have seen many karting races, you'll know that once the front start battling, it's anyone's game. One mistake can send you from like first to sixth pretty much. So it's very close all the way down the field. Everyone's quite even. We're just waiting for it all to kick off at the front, and we've lost touch with the front two a little bit now because of that overtake by Stefan. And it's a little bit annoying because the next lap they start battling and we would have been right there. So it just shows how important it is to, keep pushing and being at the right place at the right time. But it's not all over and done, because we're still P4. We can still fight for the win here, because these two are now starting to battle really hard. Stefan's right behind the two. He's actually going to get both of them into guard. That's a lovely move. We're going to get Jake Riches, and we might even get Rory Burke here. He's compromised his exit up the hill, and I think he can hear us because he looks over and he defends turn 1, which is really frustrating with 3 minutes to go. So we can't quite get him there. Sean Berry is now caught up to all of us, and he's going to just, it was a bit of display driving. There's a bit of a forceful move there, just sort of barging us out of the way, and that's kind of just undone our good work a little bit there, as we're now down to about P4, P5, behind Sonny Scott again. So it's sort of just shows how quickly your momentum can change as Sonny just cuts that corner. Jack Davis up the inside, Kit up the inside. We're going to say a firm no and shut the door on Finley Croft. But yeah, it just shows you how important momentum is in these kind of races, because now Finn's right behind us, and as soon as anyone sniffs a bit of weakness, they're going to go for the move. As Finley Cross goes for the move into hairpin 1, and we actually make contact, and it's actually just ripped the tyre off the rim on the front right. It's an unfortunate incident, but unfortunately that's going to be us out of the race, and there's only about 2 more laps to go. And let's just look at that again. So coming into hairpin 1. Now it is a little bit of a late move, given we're well into the braking zone by this point. Finn initially gets his nose ahead, but then just clips our front right on exit. Now, you could argue that maybe I could have completely just bailed out of that and let him through, but in karting, especially when your momentum is going backwards, you do need to just keep your elbows out a little bit. You can't just let every single person go as soon as you see their nose. If someone just shows your nose and you just bail out and let them through, then they're going to do that again. And then another person's going to do that, and they're going to, as soon as anyone senses weakness, you're going to go backwards very quickly. So, whilst I didn't perhaps fully intend to try and hold it around the outside, you got to make it a little bit difficult for them. And I also saw him quite late as well. It wasn't much in it. Finn did actually apologise. He was also penalised for that move. I feel like that's a bit less clear cut than the Rory manoeuvre in the second heat, but it is unfortunate. It was also unfortunate in the way he hit us, because I've never seen a tyre come off that side of the rim before. But yeah, that is us out of the race, unfortunately. Simple as that. Which means we're going to start the final from the back, but at least we've got a taxi ride back to the paddock.
Waving to go. Full send.
Just in case we fall off, I'm going to put my lid on.
Yeah, I think you should. Fucking old people, I'm telling you.
fucking...
Weren't his fault this time, to be fair? No, I know it wasn't. He had got paint on.
I've had a really good habit of ruining me.
Oh, that's it, boys, yeah. Good work, lads. Got it? Yeah.
Hang on, Lego man ain't got the strength for this.
So, starting the final miraculously, only from about P11, because of Kit's exclusion in the first heat, he's right at the very back. And I think someone else also failed to start, but here we go. Slightly sluggish start, but I think at this point we're mainly focused on just keeping calm, letting the race come to us, keeping a clean nose as Sonny's looking on the outside of us. Kit comes slicing through the field, making it look rather easy. He's very experienced and he knows what he's doing. Sonny's actually going to get on the inside of us. We're going to hold it around the outside and then quickly dice into the inside, get past Ollie Johnson into the S's. That's a lovely little move, quite happy with that one. Coming down the hill now, no real threat from behind as such, but covering off the inside just in case. But yeah, reasonable first lap. I don't know if we actually made up any places in all of it, but we're there. We're in the pack. We can go forward from here. So like tucking in behind Dominic Squibb in the Evolution LN car. And already he's breaking away a little bit from the pack, and we want to try and get past him because we know we've had the pace on him I think over the weekend, so if we can get past him and then just work on the guys in front. It's really difficult in these short races to come through the field. If we actually make a mistake, they're going in too hot on the front. That was a genuine mistake. Hopefully we don't get, I don't think we get a track limits warning for that. This is the first occasion, but yeah, it's really important to get as many moves done at the start of the race when everyone's close together. Obviously you don't go for ridiculous dive bombs, but the races are short and you've got to make hay while the sun shines. There's now Harry Chamberlain's getting shuffled back by Kit, and you can see him falling back into the clutches of Dominic in front of us. So there's definitely opportunities now as the whole pack sort of condensed. Carrying a lot of speed through the S's that don't quite get the move done into paddock. A bit scruffy at this point. I just need to sort of settle back into the race. I know I've got the pace underneath me and in the car. My steering column is actually a bit bent from this crash, so the things we had to replace the track rod. The rose joints were good enough, just about, and the column is bent slightly upwards. So it's a little bit heavier on the wheel. It's a very physical track here at Buckmore Park, so I just need to sort of settle in, gather my thoughts and just focus on hitting my marks every lap. I know there's going to be battling, so we will just take the opportunities as they come. And getting stuck in a little bit of a rut here. Had us a couple of scruffy corners and that last corner just clonking the curb. So just need to settle down, calm down a bit, and I'm sure the race will come to us. And you can see Jack Davis there just in front of these two. Now we know we've had the pace over him all weekend. There's Ollie Johnson pulling off there with an issue. He was behind us anyway, so that's not going to be a position for us. But yeah, you can see the guys in front are starting to get away from us a little bit now. So we know we have the pace. Just need to settle in a little bit. There's Harry Chamberlain now looking up the inside, Jack Davis, and you can see we've just closed by a few kart lengths just through that move. Dominic Squibb, he's going to go for a late one into hairpin one. Fair play, got it done. Now we're right on Jack's tail. So already trying to plan ahead, think of where I'm going to make a move. I know we've carried good speed through the S's, so maybe into paddock, maybe into Garda, or we've got some pretty decent straight line speed as well. Jack actually covers off paddock. Garda, we're not quite close enough, so now I'm thinking possibly turn one. We're quite far back though. We've got good straight line speed with this GMS motor and our setup working wonderfully, but we're going to go for a very late move. Hooking it on the curb, I was almost certain that was going to be a crash, but somehow we just threaded the needle so beautifully there, and that really worked out a treat. So I'm very happy with that move, and now we can just push on forwards, try and get the put a gap on Jack here, like we did in the first heat, and then take on the two Evolution boys who have now sort of separated themselves from the rest of the pack. We've lost touch with Kit and our teammate Poppy, who actually started up in P4, so that just shows how clean heats really affects your grid position, because I think on overall pace, I think me and Poppy have been pretty much even all weekend, well at least on the Sunday. So on the Sunday we've been pretty much even, give it a tenth or so, literally a tenth at most between us. And she started the race P4, I started the race P11, so that just shows how not getting in trouble during the heats is really important here. So we really need to make some inroads here, because we're just getting stuck in the same place. We're definitely a little bit quicker, but we're just sort of not in the right places. Dominic now's got a really good run on Harry Chamberlain, so you do get the sense that they're going to start battling very soon. They're also teammates, so how aggressive they're going to be, I'm not too sure. You imagine they'd work together, but we'll see how that unfolds as we head through the S's. They're bumper to bumper, so maybe they're going to try tow each other along and try and put a gap on us. Or maybe not, because Dominic's going to go for the move into paddock, they bang wheels, we sense an opportunity all over the curb, and we're going to make any move happen. It's a beautiful double overtake into Garda. Sonny's going to try and get us on the cutback, but no, that's a beautiful manoeuvre as they all just come to blows on the exit. But that's perfect for us, because that's put us up into P7 on the road. They were just ever so slightly out of reach. Yeah, it's P7. So overall, out of 6, overall, really good weekend, really good fun. Not quite the result we wanted. We were aiming for a top 6, but I think considering everything that happened, we'll take that. But thank you for everyone who's tuned in. Hopefully there'll be more of this at the next MVKC meeting in a month's time. So hopefully we'll get another video out then. But until then, guys, thank you very much for watching. Please support the channel, like, comment, subscribe. Follow me on Instagram, TikTok, all the usual. And yeah, I will see you hopefully very soon. Take care. Goodbye.